here's Brody Brazil.
Well, it's still Sunday night. Our post-game show actually ended a few hours ago, but I've decided to come back here in the home studio and record a few more things that have been circling through my mind in the last few hours regarding the A's, regarding the Astros, regarding Ramon Laureano, and regarding Major League Baseball in general. Now, normally, right, based on what happened on the field at the Coliseum this weekend, normally wouldn't the headline be the A's took a series from Houston? Not just that, they swept a series from Houston in the first head-to-head meeting since this past offseason when that entire cheating scandal was revealed. Not just that, the A's now are on a 9-game win streak. The Astros have lost 5 in a row, and Oakland already has a commanding 5-game lead in the AL West division. Wouldn't all of that normally be the primary thing we would discuss? The reason I'd come in here and make this video? Probably. But based on how today's game ended and how the series ended, anything that everybody wants to talk about is Ramon Laureano and being hit by a couple pitches and his altercation with Alex Cintrone just outside the visitors' dugout at the Coliseum. Now, you've already seen the video, and you can watch as many replays as you need to fully understand the context of the situation, what happened in the moment, how the temperature rose and escalated quite quickly once Ramon got to first base. But I think all that really matters at this point, right, Sunday night, is the question of how many games will Laureano miss with the A's. And I do want to say this right off the top. I do believe that Ramon will be disciplined, and Major League Baseball made it very clear. You can't do something like this normally, but you especially can't do it during a pandemic. Okay, so that has been established. On the flip side, I understand Ramon. He got hit 3 times over the weekend. He's a very emotional guy, charismatic guy. He didn't like it, and somebody baited him to go after the dugout, and he unfortunately went for that. So I'm trying to be fair here in my breakdown. I do want to establish that. But how will the A's as a team be impacted? Because that does seem right now, immediately, like the only thing that matters. And fortunately, you look at their roster, the A's are as deep as it gets. They have multiple very nice options defensively in center field where Laureano plays. Now, I will say the one thing they will especially miss, the A's, is their 2-hitter in the lineup and the guy who was tied for the second most hits already by the team, that is Laureano. And I think as you start to settle in here and figure out how many games Ramon might miss, the unfortunate part is that you already get this sense, you can anticipate it already, that there's going to be an imbalance in the discipline that Major League Baseball decides to hand out already. There have been no indications on anything, but you already get that sense that the Astros are going to get off a lot easier than Ramon will. Right? Because the Astros never really got punished, the players didn't get punished for cheating in the last several seasons. So how is this now going to work? And because there was no punishment to players, how does that make other players across the league, like Joe Kelly, feel? And there's many others besides him. And the other thing about all this, the Astros, they are the ones that hit 5 A's batters this weekend. This is not the other way around. This is not the A's with a terrible track record of this weekend, and they were pushing Houston, and Houston snapped. Houston kind of pushed the Oakland A's, and Ramon Laureano snapped. And just to break down what happened, the bigger picture here, Humberto Castellanos hit Laureano twice this weekend. Now, everybody from Houston might give you the excuse that he's a rookie pitcher. Okay? He's still in Major League Baseball. He still throws baseballs professionally. And he hit Ramon upstairs twice. He didn't miss low. He didn't hit him in the foot. Didn't hit him in the thigh. He hit him in the shoulder and right between the numbers today. And then there was Brandon Bailey, who also hit Ramon in today's game. Bailey, interestingly enough, the player that the A's traded to Houston back in 2017, to get Laureano. And fair or not, a lot of people look back at that trade and think the A's got a steal. So it would appear that Bailey might resent that. It's just out there. And then there's Alex Cintrone, who I don't understand is the Astros hitting coach, is the person who really instigated Ramon to head towards the dugout and starting this confrontation. Why would he be so invested in Ramon? Why would he, of all people, catch Ramon's attention? Now, Laureano was in the Astros organization. I'm pretty sure those two crossed paths. I've seen it mentioned that in the minor league system, maybe there was even a coach or manager-player relationship. But how was he, of all people, the one to really instigate this? Because I really don't think, going back to the A's intentions for this weekend, they were rolling already. I don't think they had any plans to start anything like this. Why would they? There was, probably bad feelings harbored toward the Astros. But if you're the one that's being chased, why should you turn around and offer your opponent any way to get back in this? And they really didn't. But, like I said, the A's had no plans for this. But when you get beaten 3 times as an individual in this series, and in fact twice in this game while you're way ahead and you're about to sweep, and then you get taunted by a coach, your plans instantly change. And that's kind of is what's crazy about all of this and how the conflict went down. The timing of this, right? The last game of the series, the way the series had gone. Did all of today have anything to do with the current score? The A's were way ahead. How about the fact that the A's were about to win 9 in a row, or the Astros were about to lose 5 in a row, or that Ramon was a former Astro, or that Mike Fiers, the man who outed Houston, who opened up the entire scandal, is on the A's and was not facing Houston. This is the best they could do. Go after Ramon Laureano. Now, apparently, whatever was said to Ramon was heard by players and people on the field, right? Nobody has really shared that, but everybody has seemed to indicate that they heard something that set Ramon off. I'm just here to say that with no fans in attendance and with lots of broadcast microphones present, right, for all these games, and the way we record them, we separate the announcer track from the natural sound track. It's going to be pretty easy to isolate and decipher exactly what was said from that dugout to Ramon, and conversely, what he might have said back to them. The conversation for Major League Baseball and the footage they're going to easily come across, that should be no problem to figure this out if they're really interested in getting down to the bottom of this. But that is my ultimate next question. I talked earlier about the big thing for the A's. How many games will Ramon miss? I mean, in my eyes, I understand Major League Baseball wants to send a message, but at the same time, can they put this all on him? Should Cintrone be back at all for the rest of this season? Should Ramon have the typical 8-game Joe Kelly suspension? He's a pitcher. He wouldn't even pitch every day anyway. Is it 4 games for Ramon? 3? But how is Major League Baseball going to hand out punishments and do this fairly as to not exacerbate the problem, not only with the A's, but with every other team that's also watching this? Also, how about the remaining 7 head-to-head meetings between the A's and Astros? This is a shortened season, but there's still a lot of baseball left between these two teams. So I don't know the answers to all of that. I am unfortunately left in a position to anticipate the worst, right? Hope for the best, but anticipate the worst. Like I said before, my other big takeaway, I think the A's as a team are mature enough. They're in a good enough position to get by this. They can fill the gap without a problem. It's no disrespect to Ramon. You know what I think of him, but you also know what I think of the A's depth as a team. But maybe the biggest takeaway from all of this, maybe the thing that we're not fully grasping today that we might realize down the road is that Sunday, August 9th might have been the day, officially / unofficially, that the A's overtook the Astros as a franchise. The A's have been chasing Houston each of the last couple of years. Houston was the elusive first-place team. They had everything that the A's almost had, but didn't. So maybe today, and this is the way to document it with what happened on the field, maybe today was the official tipping point. Think about that.